Hello and welcome to Move the Line Prop Drop Show presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Ryan Noonan back to talk about the best way, the most profitable way to bet on NFL football, and that is through player props. We are live here 2 p.m. Eastern every Friday on the 4for4 Bets YouTube channel. We're here to hand out our favorite player props of the week and to take your questions. So if you are hanging out with us now on YouTube, we appreciate that very much. Jump in the chat. Let us know what your favorite player prop look is for the week. Board is pretty full and populating more now as we go. So maybe it's something that's not out there yet or something you like, you want to get our opinion on, or you just want some life advice. Obviously, you've been hanging out with us all season. You know that we are very, very well equipped to help you with all aspects of your life. Jump in the chat. Let us know what your thoughts are there. If you like the podcast version, you missed out on the chat, but that's going to be in your podcast feed on Friday evenings as well. No matter where you consume it, subscribe. It supports the show and free content. We appreciate that very, very much. Joining me here as always, Connor Allen. What's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot. Excited for the weekend. I don't know why this week felt super long. Like I was just dragging. I'm ready to get after a little bit, have a couple of brewskis over the weekend. But excited. Last week we had some live Jamal Williams props on the show, and those were just absolute hammers. So yeah, now I'm excited for this week, and maybe we'll get some more live looks. Who knows?
Back in the middle. We got him in the middle of the stream where he belongs, where he operates. Like, yeah, right. Like, you got to feed the big man in the middle. D-Bro did a great job filling in last week. A lot of people were saying that he was, a younger, less attractive version of the man himself from OzJam, back where he belongs. John Hyslop. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? I got to be honest with you. I almost made it last week. Like almost. Like I was probably 15 minutes too late. But I was to the point where I was like getting ready to send a message because I was like, I want to come on. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it. But then I'm glad I didn't send the message because we did not make it.
Try to hold it down without you. We missed you here for sure. Shout out to D-Bro Fantasy Pros for coming in. We just wanted to, stay in the archetype where like people could just kind of like, if they had it on the background, they weren't sure that it wasn't you or not. Because we tried to make sure that we just wanted to cross off all the bald guys that we knew before. And luckily we didn't have to get too far down the list. D-Bro said yes. And
what about Daigle?
We've done too many shows with Daigle over the years. People know.
He was next.
Yeah.
I was just making sure he wasn't on the ouch. I was like, all right, still in. He's in the circle of trust.
We just wanted to mix it up a little bit. So we love Daigle around these parts. I want to remind folks here, 2 episodes of Move the Line each week. This is obviously prop drop, game previews. If you're looking more talking ball, game previews, sides and totals, stuff like that, it's Connor, myself, and Sharp Clark. That's 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays as well. Same podcast feed, same YouTube channel. Check it out. If you want all the official plays, you want to get into the Discord where the magic happens. Absolutely love our Discord community. That is, I think, the crown jewel of the betting sub. That's where all the official plays are pushed out. You get access to everything on our site, including all of our NBA stuff as well, tools, articles, 4for4.com/plans. Betting sub is massively discounted because we are rounding up to the end of the season. That runs through the end of February, so it takes you through football season into a little bit of the rest of the NBA season and stuff like that. Check it out. If you're playing on any of the pick'em sites, we got channels and plays there for you as well. More information here in the show notes. You can just go to the site, 4for4.com/plans. All right, week 15. We are flying through. Buys are done. Full board. No stale bread, Connor. Get us started here. First play for week 15.
Yeah, we're about to get real spicy real fast here. So I'm going to go with DK Metcalf over 61.5 receiving yards. Honestly, I just think that this is way too low given the matchup, given what we're going to see in this game here. I really like Philly's ability to score in this game against Seattle. I think they're going to have success running the ball. I think that they're going to have success throwing the ball. And on the other side here, like Seattle is in a spot where Geno Smith is looking good in practice. I think he comes back and he plays in this spot here. And the Eagles secondary, we talked about it in the past. I mean, they are just getting wrecked at certain times. They've allowed 17 wideouts already to clear 60 receiving yards, 10 of them to clear 80, and 6 to clear 105 passing yards. So I not only like this baseline at 61.5, but I think that over 82.5 and over 104.5, which are at DraftKings right now, plus 205 on 82.5 under alt receiving yards, and 104.5 all yards is plus 500 on DraftKings. They have like a pricing error kind of like from time to time. And so they'll give you Like they have like two sections. They have like an X plus receiving yards, and then they have an alt receiving yards. The alt receiving yards lines are like almost always better. So if you can get down more on those, I would recommend that. Again, we're just doing like 0.1 units on the alts, but to win a unit on the regular one there, I'm excited. I know he got ejected last week, but I think this line, once Geno's officially in, is going to be like high 60s by the time it closes.
Yeah, and that's I think probably why you're getting a little bit of a discount too there. So, and that's just to clarify, it's a full game line, right?
We'll see. I think he hits it in the first half, but we'll see.
Hit it in the first quarter against the Cowboys.
Yep.
First good stuff. First drive.
And I like the call out too with the DK. It's hard because we try to do our best and we have a bunch of tools on the site. We're going to help you shop lines and get a sense of different stuff. We've partnered with Unabated. You can grab our projections, pull them into the Unabated screen, and run that stuff in there too. Some of the alts are hard. You got to actually do the work. Like pulling in API to shop alt menus is super difficult and challenging to do, as I'm sure Slop could tell you about what happens at Odds Jam too. Like it's just really, really tricky to do. So you got to do the work, and I think Connor did it for us here. So I like that quite a bit. Yeah, that probably steams up a little bit when we get the official Geno news. So I like it. All right, Slop, where are we at, buddy? What's the first play for week 15?
All right, so since Connor went spicy, I'm gonna go a little bit spicy. This one is it. Last year it probably wouldn't have been this, but how about Cooper Kupp? I'm gonna hang on. Let me just make sure I got the exact number in front of me. It is. I'm gonna go 110 at plus 310. 110 plus receiving yards. All right, so he looked healthy last week. I don't know if you guys saw against the Ravens. Like he looked like Cooper Kupp again. And his line at FanDuel 72.5 right now. Everywhere else is 76.5. So there's that. So you'd have to do this at FanDuel. Don't go to Caesars or DraftKings just because their 110 is going to be a little bit lower than plus 310. But they've got the Commanders, and I think you just play receivers against the Commanders. Like that's just the play. Like on the season, no team in the NFL has allowed more receiving yards to the wide receiver position. He's playing inside this week, so they're not going to get any weather. Matthew Stafford looks great. I think that the Commanders can have a little bit of success against the Rams defense, so we can get, a little baby shootout going. But 110 plus for Cooper Kupp. I mean, a lot of guys that's a big number, but that's not a lot for him. That's definitely not plus 310 in my book.
Yeah, Stafford's cooking too. I mean, he's playing such good football. I like that. I think he looked healthy last week. Connor, any thoughts there? I mean, he's obviously coming off of a game against a significantly more difficult competition with the Ravens. Now he's in weather. Now Slop said going home in the dome against the Commanders. That's a pretty nice landing spot for Cooper Kupp to keep it going.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in that game. I wonder, like, he might just get there, 250 passing yards in the first half. I think we might see like Cooper Kupp just go off in the first half, and then if they get up too much, like they might run the ball a ton. Kieran Williams' rushing prop is 20.5 carries this week. I mean, that is bananas. That is insane. But I don't think it's that crazy. He just gets 20 carries basically every game because
they must have moved up in the last hour or so because that's coming down the line here in the show. So
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about it, not necessarily a push. Yeah. So it must have moved up. It was like, it's a lot.
It's high. That's a lot. I mean, but it's just really tough to see him not getting fed either. So yeah, I think that's it's an interesting look. I mean, this Commanders defense is just so bad. I consider taking like a Stafford attempts under too for that kind of reason because like they're so bad. Like they're just going to allow like chunk gains. Like they're not going to make Stafford throw like 7-8 yards. It's going to be like 20 yards, 25 yards, 6 Kieran Williams runs, and then a touchdown. Like we're probably going to see that here as well.
Yeah. I'll just talk here because it's not an official play. It's like a lead into my spicy section just while we're on the subject. Part of it too, and we talked about it on the game preview show. Like, yeah, they love to throw the football, and this is the best spot to throw the football in the league is against the Commanders and at home for sure. So I still love Slop's thoughts around anything the passing game, Cooper Kupp specifically. But this is one of the most drastic teams in terms of like pass run splits in the league when they're in a advantageous game script. When they are leading in the second half, only the Dolphins and Niners have a better or a higher run rate than the Rams. They love to put the ball in Kyren Williams' belly over and over again. Last 2 weeks, way tougher matchups against the Browns and the Ravens. and we're worried about like 19.5 or 20.5. He had like 21 and 25. And those games are way tougher than what's going to happen here. I feel way better about the second half game script where the Rams are playing from ahead. So it's a little high. So it's not like a play for me, but like the alt rushing overs, I think are fantastic too. Like 95 plus is plus 110, 125 plus 310. Like those are very much interesting to me. They're not as like spicy as we get in the spicy section, but I just wanted to highlight that. I think that, he's in a really great spot where it was on my notes this week. I was thinking, man, 17.5. You were absolutely going to smash Kyron rushing, but yeah, 19's a little rich. Now we're moving to 20. Still kind of like it, to be honest. It just is. It's hard to get there. So that's my Kyron thoughts. But and I'll give you my actual play. Actual play first on the board for me here for week 15. We're going to go with Trey McBride over 5.5 receptions. This is plus money. If you have Prop Builder plus 103, Caesars plus 102, DraftKings MGM plus 100. He is absolutely getting this done here. Since Zach Ertz has gone down, he has been an absolute wagon. 6.8 receptions per game, just under 9 targets per game. It's like 30% target share, which is like top level wide receiver 1 type of workload here. Since Kyler's been involved, 7 catches and 9 targets in 3 of the 4 games. Again, in a spot against the Niners where they're going to be playing from behind. This is going to be, feels like a really nice volume spot for McBride. And I think we're getting a discount because of the perception of the Niners defense. And when I dug in a little bit, and I think sometimes like DVP stuff can be a little bit noisy, but I want to look at it. Like the Niners are middle of the pack in terms of like targets and receptions to tight ends. They have a lot of touchdowns. So like fantasy points against, they're really low, but that's not what we're doing here in the prop market. So it doesn't really matter. And then when you look at like the tight ends that they've faced a garbage slate of tight ends. Look at the last couple of games. We have Seattle. They run like 3 tight end rotation. Philly without Dallas Goedert. That doesn't count. Seattle again. Cade Otton against Tampa Bay. Otton caught 4 of 5 targets. Same with Jacksonville. It was a wonky game. 49 plays for the Jags, but Ingram caught 4 balls there. Same. Irv Smith, 4 balls for Cincinnati in a rotation. Last time they played a meaningful, like actual tight end one, Hawk caught 11 to 12 targets. So I think we're actually getting a discount comparatively to how he's been playing because it's the Niners and we're getting it at plus money. So Slop, any thoughts on McBride? Some people are calling him Baby Gronk here.
I am a big McBride guy. I've been on him for a while. I think I took him once on the show and he lost, but I forgave him already. And I think we should give him another chance to win our money back.
I like it. Connor, any thoughts on McBride? I think it's the Niners are getting us a discount here.
I will have an official play on the same team in a different market, but I don't want to leak that yet because it's not widely available. So, but yeah, okay. I like where your head's at. I think this is solid. I think we're going to see the Niners just absolutely, whip the Cardinals defense. So we're going to see negative game script in some aspect. I just don't know, the best way to play it. It looks like Marquise Brown is going to be back, but I don't think that's really mattered that much. He just runs wind sprints. He's just out there doing cardio most of the time. So yeah, it's not too big. He's not like a target hog or anything. So I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah. I think I know what your other play is when that comes out. I think I like it. Pretty sure. So it's not going to make an appearance in the show, right? Because we don't have enough.
No,
yet.
No. We'll make an appearance on the show.
Yeah. All right. Spicy section. We all get a little spicy there. Again, you could probably take alts if you wanted on McBride. I'm fine. Again, 5.5 at plus money. That's obviously probably on the move now. But yeah, I just think this is probably at least minus 115, minus 120 if it's not the Niners. And again, he's 7 and 3 of 4 with Kyler in there. So Connor, spicy section. Let's go where we going. Alts, inverse stuff, round robin stuff, same game parlay. Where are we going, bud?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can do some interesting stuff here on like DraftKings or FanDuel. So FanDuel doesn't have alts for this Eagles game yet, but I think that would be a fun game to like just same game parlay a bunch and just kind of like go all in on that. Not really too worried about any weather or anything there. And then the other one that I am a little bit concerned about weather, but like I want to play some overs is like now this Buffalo Dallas game. I did play Dak Prescott attempts over early in the week, and then because there's no weather concerns, and then now as we're getting closer, there are becoming weather concerns like 15-mile-per-hour winds, some rain. I don't think it's like bordering. It's not really like a big concern, but I do think that that game would be, a lot of fun to kind of like stack. So I think putting in like some Dak passing overs there is interesting. Putting in like, a Josh Allen prop as well. Maybe go back to rushing. I mean, God, what a horrible beat last week on the Josh Allen rushing prop. We had slop. I don't think you were paying attention, but we had 34 rushing yards. We had over 32.5. He had 34, 2 kneel downs, put him at 32. And
the old kneel down. I hate that.
Only because Tony was lined up an inch off sides, because Patrick Mahomes couldn't complete a couple more passes, because if there was 40 seconds left, the game was over. Because there was like a minute left, he had 2 kneel downs. We lost. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of different ones. I think DK Metcalf's gonna be like my core, round robin leg, like 105 plus at plus 500 is just like the nuts. I'm gonna have, maybe some buddies go over to the kiosks and try and round robin some stuff there. But figuring out some other legs. I'm curious if you guys have any other good ones here that we can add to the, the pile here.
Slop, where are we getting spicy?
I know you guys are gonna hate this, so just earmuff it if you have to. But Sam Howell, 325 right now is plus 360. If you want to do 300, you could do it. I think it's plus 198. I don't think that's crazy. He has done this against teams that you wouldn't think, right? So I think they get behind. I think he has to throw it. That's just how the Commanders roll. And the Rams just gave up 316 last week to Lamar Jackson. The week before that, Joe Flacco, I think, was like off his couch throwing for 250 against them. So, it's not like this defense is very good. One thing that Sam Howell does do is throw for 300 yards. He's done it a million times this season. He did it against the Patriots, which is, that's not easy to do. He did have a stinker against the Dolphins. That I kind of hold that against them. But before that, let me see, Dallas 300, Seattle 312, New England 325, 397 against Philly, 388 against Chicago. At what point, really, it's 2-1. He throws for 300 yards when they're getting their asses kicked. It's inside. I'll take it. Why not?
I like it quite a bit. He's, like you said, he's been doing it consistently all season. It's what they want to do. They love to throw the football, regardless of the game script. They're going to come out chugging the ball. Connor, those are pretty good. You can add those to the round robin legs. Any thoughts on how
Brian Robinson out too? So that I think decreases the chances of them trying to grind the clock at all. LA, just kind of the way they play defense too, I think kind of fits really well with what Sam Howell can do. Just like throws the ball a ton. They play a lot of zone. He'll probably just be able to kind of throw it to like Logan Thomas a bunch. That's something I'm eyeing and probably got to look more into, because I think that there's definitely some value on some overs there. I'm just not really sure how to approach it yet. But yeah, the Sam Howell look is good. Yeah, like plus 2-1 on 300 passing yards there is pretty nice. I think that's solid.
I do want to make one thing clear, though. I'm not saying I think this guy's good. I don't know if I'm in or out on him. I think I'm out, but so I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he just throws for 300 yards all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is not a football evaluation show. This is a prop show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. This is, you want to get your hands dirty, get on the tape. We might do that on Wednesdays. We're not doing that on Fridays. That's not what Fridays are for.
It's throwing out.
Look, you got other legs, right? You got the Cooper Kupp leg. We have done this before in the same vein when we were doing I think it was the Commanders Dolphins game, actually. Especially with B-Rob out, you can throw in Antonio Gibson receptions. He's probably more involved in the passing game. Starting to build some legs on a same game parlay there that I think makes a ton of sense. So, all right, with Slop in mind, again, he was only gone 1 week. I really want to celebrate his return, because we missed him last week. So we got to go to a guy who owes us money, and that's a Slopism, one of my favorites. This guy doesn't owe me money necessarily, but he owes my subscribers money. He owes my friend Connor money. And when you owe my friend Connor money and you owe subscribers money, you owe me money. Okay, that's family to me. These are my people. Okay. Jayden Reed let us down last week. Connor had a great handicap. He played Jayden Reed receiving yards over. The dude caught 8 balls on 10 targets and somehow still managed to massively come under his receiving prop line. So you know what we got to do here. We have to go ahead and build a little bit of an inverse correlated parlay here, because look, what happened last week? Why did it happen? They blitzed a ton. The Giants blitz a ton. They love to get pressure. And Jayden Reed is a target hog on the season, especially with Christian Watson out, especially against the blitz. So who else blitzes a ton? The Bucs. Todd Bowles loves to bring the blitz, 38.9%, third in the league. So I think we see a very similar approach in what we saw last week with game plan defensively of how to defend the Packers. So 8 catches, 27 yards last week. 5 of his 10 targets were behind the line of scrimmage, 1.2 average depth of target. Look, we just go right back to the well. Over 4.5 receptions, under 54.5 receiving yards on FanDuel. That's plus 673. We're asking him to do something that he did comfortably on both legs last week. And I think the reasons why he did it are very much in play again. Jayden Reed owes money. We're going to go and get it on FanDuel at plus 673. Connor, what do you think?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I think that there's some spots here too. If you like, once we get like the alt receptions, we'll take like 6 receptions and under 54 yards or something like that, or maybe even 7. I mean, I think it's very possible. They're using him like Deebo Samuel, basically. That's what they're using him. Like, they refused to throw him the ball downfield. Like, they threw one downfield and it was a DPI. And it was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you can't just like let him go. So yes, definitely still mad at Jayden Reed / the Packers. And it's a good time to make our money back. I mean, 6-1 on over 4.5 receptions, under 54 yards seems, I mean, the yardage is, what a crazy correction from 39 to 54 in 1 week where he had 27 yards on 8 receptions. To me is a lot. I was ready to go back to it, to be honest. At like the, high 30s or low 40s. Crazy. 54 is wild.
Yeah. Slop, any thoughts on Packers passing game here with Jayden Reed?
All right, so I'm kind of mad at Jordan Love, like a lot mad at Jordan. Like he was horrific. Like I was talking him up that he was good or maybe good, and then he did that. I had Wicks that night, so 6 targets and he didn't get 40 yards for me. It was rough to watch. I mean, like he missed him by like feet. It was very bad. But Jayden Reed was one that I kind of like from that team, but he's a receptions guy. He's not a yards guy. When I to Connor's point, when I saw 54.5, I was just like, I would never take that over. I mean, I'm not going to play the under, but I mean, I'd rather lose, but I mean, I can't take that over. So it's, I think this is perfect, actually.
Yeah,
the only
recipe is here.
The only thing I get nervous about is what if he gets loose? Because he's a slippery one.
Sure.
Like, but at the same time, I don't know.
But then we lose.
Run him. Like, I think they ran him like 4 times. Like, he's a running back. So as long as Aaron Jones isn't playing, I mean, I think they're going to treat him like a running back. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, jet, like Connor said, it's like Deebo. Jet sweeps. They give him a bunch of stuff. Yeah, who knows what's going on? Because you got AJ Dillon with a broken thumb. You got Jones, who's like slow to come back. So, hey, whatever we need to do to keep him, if he's going to be involved in the ground game, then that impacts how often he's going out. And he only ran a route in like 68% of the snaps too, which I think was surprising last week too. So another thing that can hold him under. And again, just targets. We need him catching 5 of 10 behind the line of scrimmage again, and print. So plus 673 on FanDuel is where you can get that. You can play that on DraftKings as well. I think similar price. So the only thing I think on DraftKings, I think is receiving yards is like 51.5. And FanDuel's a little off market. I think they're still at 54.5. So rather take the higher number since we're going under. All right, Connor, back to you. Jeff's in the chat again. Jeff ready to give us some more kicker props. Absolute heater. Jeff has been on the heater, so people want to stick around and get those. We'll put some of those up here when we get to the listener questions. Again, if you're hanging out with us, jump in the chat. Let us know what you want us to talk about here when we get to that section. Any looks that you like, anything like that. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Connor, floor is yours. Where are we at, buddy?
Yeah, this is one that has been just absolutely wild. That's why I've been a little bit, staring at the screen over here. But I think that Derek Carr to go under his passing prop, 215 net passing yards is fantastic. I know Slop just let out a yawn, but hear me out, Slop. Chris Olave, DNP 3 straight times this practice. Rashid Shaheed, probably not going to play again. And then we're getting in this spot as well. So we're looking at the Giants, who play a ton of man, blitz a lot. They play extremely aggressively. Derek Carr, showed last week, just absolutely stinks. And we're getting a spot where there's going to be no pushback. Like Tommy DeVito and the Giants are not going to push back. So you have Derek Carr throwing to A.T. Perry, Lynn Bowden, Jawan Johnson. Just the biggest bunch of bums ever against a defense that is going to play tough defense here. So this got down. I don't know. This guy was 216 like 20 minutes before the show. I had it typed up, ready to go. Got bet all the way down to 205 after Olave DNP again today. Now is back up to 215 again. So I don't know, maybe call it luck that we waited or whatever. Someone played it and then played it back. I'm excited for this under here because I just see like a ton of running, and Taysom Hill's back. Taysom Hill's going to take some snaps. He's going to be running. He's going to be throwing a little bit. So I don't know. 215 seems real high in a game that's going to be horrendous.
It moved now. It's going to move even more, I think, down when we get official Olave out, right? We're still waiting on Olave. It's not trending well. So that's another thing. Yeah, it's a mess there. Slop, I guess the question is, would you take Carr over?
No. I actually have that game like crossed off. It legit's that stupid game. So
I'm not sure it's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like that game. Like, there's literally nothing about that game that I would want to do.
There's one thing in there that I liked quite a bit. I'll put it out there. It hadn't opened. I saw it 10 minutes before we got on the show. I was looking at it last night and this morning, and I was waiting for it. It wasn't anywhere because we only had yards. Wandale receptions is interesting to me. 3.5, I think, is like plus 105.
Okay.
Heavily involved the last couple weeks.
I didn't know that. I'm a big Wandale guy.
Yeah.
I forgot
I think
about
he caught seven balls last week.
Yeah.
I think 5 the week before. Now 3.5. Again, like the route rate is up, target rate is up, all those things. So that one's a little interesting to me. Was considering, he was on the list for the show today, but his yards were like 31.5, which I thought was still in play, but not as interesting to me as receptions for a guy like Wandale. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's a receptions guy. Actually, he was kind of a yards guy. Like, they found him downfield.
Yeah.
In that same, did they play the Packers? Was that the primetime game? Yeah. Yeah, they found him downfield. It kind of pissed me off because I had Hyatt, but whatever. But Wandale he's legit. 3.5 at plus money. I didn't even know that. I haven't seen that yet. Did that come out today? Because like I've been looking.
It came out 10 minutes before when I came back up from lunch, turned on the stuff to get ready for the show, and saw it on the screen. And because I had been looking for it. So
I might be on Wandale.
Yeah,
but not.
I think it's a good look. 3.5 is again working out of the slot a lot. We talked about Alontae Taylor, slot corner for the Saints, the guy we like to attack. Everyone else offenses like to attack him, so we should be attacking him in the prop market too. He's a target finder for other opposing offenses. So yeah, Wandale would be a leg that I would look for in that game. I like it quite a bit. All right, Slop. What else you got? You got anything else here for week 15?
Well, I don't think this is as good as the Wandale one, but it's getting there. I hate taking running backs rushing yardage, but I can go Pollard, Tony Pollard, 60 plus. It's plus 118 at FanDuel. They've been running the ball. I don't know if you've been watching the Cowboys, but they've been not totally. They don't sell out and run it or anything like that. But I mean, he carried the ball 16 times last week, 22 the week before. 20 the week before, and that was a shootout where that went back and forth. 13 the week before, but he's been 60 plus in all 4 games. His last 4 games. The last one he had 59, but I count that as 60 plus. Like, I don't think your book will, so definitely check the rules on that. But you look. I mean, he's right in the 50s range, and the Bills, they kind of stink against the run. The last real one they saw was Swift from the Eagles. He took him for like 80. I don't know. Like, I think weather could play into this a little bit, but I mean, 60 plus, not a big bar to get over. The only thing I'll warn you is you're going to get super mad when he catches a screen and takes it like 80 yards and you get none of that. So there's that. Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he's due.
Shout out from
Ben. I don't
Ben.
think he goes for 100 though. It's not a ladder situation. I think that you would just do the 60 plus. His standard line's like 53 or 51, somewhere in there. So 60 plus feels like he'll just get over that. Maybe get into the 70s, but I don't know. I think this works out for definitely a Pollard run the ball game. 15 to 20 carries.
Yeah, definitely an interesting leg in the same game parlay if you were doing what Connor was talking about earlier, where if the weather's okay, you can get a little bit wonky with that game. Connor, any thoughts on Pollard, or is he a viable leg for you there?
I'm more of a Dak guy here, but I understand it. I think that they're going to have a ton of offensive success regardless. So I think that either way, it'll be fine. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested either way. Like, however you want to attack it, I think you can put basically any Cowboys or Bills piece in like an SGP, and you can probably convince me of it.
All right, last one here for me. This is annoying. I played this last week. I almost talked about it on the show, but I didn't send it out, and I should have. Could have used the win last week, that's for sure. Luckily, my account got it. It was good. Courtland Sutton, longest reception, over 21 and a half yards. This is pretty low in terms of like if you look at what Courtland Sutton's been doing as of late. He's been cruising over this. He has passed it in 7 straight games. And I think like 6 of the 7, he's been over 30. Now we get the Lions pass D, absolutely hemorrhaging big plays since week 7. The Lions pass D, 31st in EPA, 28th in explosive pass rate allowed. And we know Russ. Russ is checkdowns and moon balls. He is second in the league in rate of throws 20 or more yards down the field. Sutton's average at the target is up like 4 yards per game over like the last 6 weeks as well. He's basically just running go routes. So in a spot where, look, it's mid-December. We don't have to worry about it here. We're in a dome, no weather concerns against a leaky pass D. We're going to get 3 to 4 probably deep shots to Courtland Sutton. Got it last week for a touchdown again. I think he brings one in here. We only need one with the longest reception. So, and you know, we've been on a spot like he'll get a 21-yard reception. But like I feel even better about this because like Sutton's not even flirting with this number. He's consistently going way over. We got a bunch of like, if you look at his game logs, like 46, 45, 35, like he's not even coming close to 21 and a half here. So absolutely love this one. Slop, any thoughts on Sutton here against Detroit?
I love him. I want to play him every single week, all the time, always. And then I remember that Russell Wilson just quarterback and just it ruins it for me every time because dude, Sutton, I'm telling you, he could be a target just monster for literally anybody else. And he gets wasted by Russell Wilson doing all the little dumb little check downs. But you're right though. I mean, like I like to take his yardage, but it has to come on a 45-yard bomb. You know what I mean? Like 50-yard bomb. So the way to play him would be longest reception. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't play his over in yardage. You just play his longest reception because like the only way he gets there is if he catches one of those long ones. So yeah, no, against the Lions defense too, like they are awful. And they can kind of stop the run too, which makes them kind of fun. You know, they're not great against them, but they're not that bad. It's the pass where it's just like yikes.
Yeah, I think I talked about Sutton as one of the correlated parlays last week where it was a under reception over yard situation. DraftKings lets me get down like 15 cents on those. So when that wasn't available on FanDuel at the time. So I did end up playing longest reception. So hopefully I saw Sam got down on some of that too. So awesome. Love to absolutely see it. So Connor, any thoughts on Sutton in this matchup for longest reception at all?
Yeah, it's a good look because these like the Broncos basically just like dink, and then like take shots. And like, that's just their whole offense. And it's like run, short passes. And then they'll open it up and just do a few moon balls from Russ and Sutton. That's like basically all Sutton's good at. Like it's a perfect fit for him. He just like catches those moon balls and that's about all he can do. So yeah. And Ben brought it up here in the chat. Sutton could be a good alt receiver guy. I think that's probably the way too. If you don't have longest receptions, play like a 60 plus money because Russ has lost trust in Judy. I mean, Judy sucks. Like he just is ass. I don't know what to say about it.
He'd be good. He's a good route runner. It's just the whole catching the ball always gets him.
Yeah, he's also like a head case. It seems like too. I don't know. He's just so much potential and just not panning out at all. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go backwards. Look at these are the recent games for Sutton. Longest reception, 46 yards, 45, 31, 33, 30. 23 against the Chiefs. It's the only one that's even in the 20s and flirting with this number. 33 against the Packers, 21 against the Chiefs again. So the Chiefs maybe had their number. But everything else is like we're in the 30s and 40s. So and again, minus 110, 21 and a half. I mean, I think if everyone's steaming it here a little bit, it's going to move to 22 and a half, and I'd probably still play it. It's probably still within the range of playable there. So all right,
that's
good stuff.
Definitely the way you play him, the launch reception. Yeah. That's the way. No, I've been looking for ways to play him, and I probably should have thought of that one. But like, I'd have to watch Russ throw the ball, and I don't like doing that. But it's a primetime game. I'm trapped. My hands are tied. Like I got to watch it. There's no other game.
So we have a question here in the chat, Ryan Jeffrey. So he said, Dan, where can we get alt longest? You can actually do that now on Caesars. It's kind of been hidden, but you can do alt longest receptions. It's not available right now, but this This is the thing. Yeah, you can bet like usually 30 plus all longest. So.
I mean,
Nice work. I had no idea. Like, where do they put it?
You got to go to receiving and then scroll way down. Like it's at the bottom, like the very bottom.
Okay.
So it's after there's like alt receiving yards, alt receptions, and then it's below that. It's like alt longest reception.
Nice. Now that's the information people can use.
This is what this show's for. It's life advice, Caesar's advice. They did nuke the rewards on Caesar's, which kind of sucks.
They did.
It used to be like really good, like kind of like a casino. Like you'd get like every dollar you played, you'd get a good amount. Now they nuked it to like, I don't know, 1% or something like that. You'd get a reward point. It's kind of shitty, but hey, we're still grinding, got to get that 7 stars pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Jeff in the chat, do we have alt longest, field goal attempts? What can we have anything like that, Jeff? We need to get into that. So, yeah, we'll see. All right.
Jeff loves kickers.
Yeah, dude loves kickers, man. Hey, but he's been hitting,
No,
like,
he hits, dude. He hits hard.
Yeah.
Like crack in the 80s,
Slop, I do got to ask too, is Courtland Sutton, on your recent Bible study and adventure, was he in the Bible with Russ? Because it seems like he has been.
Him and Marvin Mims definitely was not in there. Like they not in there at all. Like he wasn't even listed. Courtland Sutton probably is, though. Definitely, like they got to be friends somehow, because Russ doesn't seem to like anyone on that team but Sutton. He's the guy.
No, I don't want to exclude any of our Jewish friends. Happy Hanukkah! It's over. Hope it was a great celebration. We're almost approaching Christmas. Did you have any takeaways from the research, even though we didn't find Marvin Mims or Courtland Sutton? Was there anything
I actually already forgot. I'd have to read it again. There are a lot of books in there. A lot going on.
A lot of books.
A lot of books. I think 66 of them at last count. So a lot to get to. But Courtland.
People don't know that's why you weren't here last week, because you weren't
Bible
done.
Study. Yeah, big Bible study guy.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, Judy wasn't in there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Mims is not listed.
No, not. No. Definitely letting this guy down.
Yes,
which I think
he does not like Mims.
No. All right,
not the Bible, but Russell. Just so everyone's clear. Like, I think God's cool with Mims. Russell, not so much.
A tackle play for you guys. This is not out yet. I had another one, but it popped just before we went live, so I'm going to probably play that and then make that official. I'm not prepared to do that yet for subscribers first, so I'm going to hold off on that. So again, jump in the show notes here, 4for4.com/plans, get the betting sub, get in the Discord, get all the plays. A look that I'm going to be honing in on, and I hope he gets posted. He has been getting posted, but some of his teammates are up right now, and he's not. But that sometimes changes. We get injury reports. I know this gentleman did not practice, I think, on Wednesday, but we should be fine. But Derek Brown, not Derek Brown that hung out with us last week for Slot, but Derek Brown, interior defensive lineman for the Panthers. Probably not a big number, maybe 4.5 is what I'm expecting here. This is the best spot in football for assists, games in Carolina. 54.4% of the tackle opportunities in Carolina have been assisted. That is nearly 5% better than the next best spot in the league, and about 10.5% better than the league average. So we get a lot of assist opportunities. That matters a lot, I think, especially for a interior defensive lineman. He's in and around the ball. A lot of that, you get all those guys all at one time. You want the benefit of getting the assist. You don't want the scorekeeper to nail the solo tackle there. Though I think it is worth noting, 8 solo tackles for Brown in week 1 when they played the Falcons. And we know what the Falcons want to do here. We want to run the football over and over again. I know Connor played an under on Desmond Ridder here. We're in on the Falcons running the football and probably running it well here against Carolina. So he also had 10 tackles and assists, 5 of each, 5 tackles, 5 assists against the Saints last week. So we're coming off of a nice game. Only the Browns average more tackle opportunities per against and interior defensive lineman tackles per game than the Falcons do. So there's a lot of little ancillary pieces popping here for Derek Brown, who again, I don't spend a lot of time. I've not pushed out a lot of defensive lineman plays this season. There's only a couple guys, I think DeForest Buckner, Brown, And like Quinn and Williams, like the only guys that have over like 60 tackles on the season anyway. So not a lot of big tackle guys that play interior defensive line anyway. But Brown is one of them. We're going to go to the well this week if he pops. Hopefully that's a Saturday night, Sunday morning play when the books kind of know for sure who's in. So Derek Brown, especially if we're at 4.5, I would absolutely love that. Maybe 5.5 and plus money I'd be able to take advantage of too. Because again, I love all the boxes are checked with the tackle opportunities, assists, and all that stuff. So I'm not going to kick it to you guys because you have no idea and no valuable input here. And I just throw it to you and you have nothing to say. We're moving forward.
No, I do have something to add this time. I came prepared just in case.
Oh, okay.
Well, not that prepared.
Specific.
No. So this game now also something that I did not include in my original handicap. Heavy rain and 15 plus mile per hour winds amongst two of the teams that are going to be the most run heavy in the league already. So I don't think either quarterback is reaching 30 pass attempts. I think both of them are going to be 20 to 25 here.
We already played Jesse Bates on the Atlanta side. He's going to be hanging on the box, getting a lot of tackles. Yeah. I like Connor. Look at you. What? At least, hey, help him with the transition. It doesn't have to be tackle related. It can just be game related. I appreciate it very much. I don't have a lot of sacks on the board this week. That's not a great sack week. And it's been slow to kind of populate. So if we have any of those plays, we'll push those out to folks in the chat on Sunday morning. So again, if you're hanging out with us, we appreciate it there. Jump in the chat. Let us know what you like here. And Connor, floor is yours. You want to start buzzing through some of the questions here?
Yeah. We got some great questions this week. So I'm going to go through a bunch of them here. And if I forget any of them, please just bump them in the chat here. So Shane Bullen, love Hawkinson over 52.5. Bengals last 4 games against genuine tight ends, giving up 82, 71, 81, and 149. Hawkinson's last 4 games with dreadful quarterback play, 53, 50, 55, 134. I think the obvious wrench here is that Nick Mullins is playing and that Justin Jefferson is playing as well. Slop, any thoughts on Hawkinson? I've looked at this. I've looked at it a lot. I just don't know if there's enough value in my mind, but I'm interested to hear your take.
Yeah. Do we think is Mullins that bad? Is he worse, that much worse than Dobbs? I guess it's the question you got to ask yourself. And then you got to ask, is Browning going to be able to move the ball against the Vikings, which I think they will. So, yeah, if you get a trailing game script with a loose cannon like Mullins, if he likes them, a lot of these, the Mullen types, they're first read guys. So if first read's going to Hawkinson, they'll just force feed him. So he could get. I don't hate that, not at all. At 52.5, that's a good number for Hawkinson, and he's right. He's had dreadful quarterback play.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts here. Hawk, do we have a reception line at all? Receptions would be interesting to me.
5.5 juiced under, plus money on the over. I would love a 4.5. I think that would be really good.
Yeah.
So, we only have a 2-game sample. I don't know. I feel like Zach Taylor maybe deserves a little bit of credit because what we've seen so far in the 2 Browning starts is their game script has been very opponent specific. So teams throw at one of the highest rates in the league against Jacksonville. Browning came out and chucked the ball around. Teams run at the 2nd highest rate in the league against the Colts. They only threw 27 times. They ran the ball a ton last week against the Colts. So it feels like a good spot for them to be reactionary. And I think you're in a spot where you get that zone blitz heavy scheme from Minnesota. Yeah, I feel like some of that stuff could make some sense. They're going to get the ball up pretty quick. Now on the on the same side too with Hawkinson, the one change that's impactful there, like you mentioned too, who they're giving up. You have a different quarterback, Jefferson back. The other thing that happened there that's more where I spend my time, the Bengals made a massive change at safety. Nick Scott was one of the worst, actually I think the worst graded safety in the league. They pulled him 2 games ago, and they're running with Jordan Battle, who was an absolute dog at safety, who I think is a little bit more impactful in their ability to defend tight ends. Now, I don't want to overrate that. We don't have any, that's a 2-game sample, but I think they're going to be better at doing that than they've been earlier this season. So yeah, I touched on the first part because I'm I thought about Mixon carries. Chase Brown was a little spicy last week, getting 8-9 touches the last couple of weeks. Can we look at some Chase Brown stuff? There's different ways to go about this game. Hawkinson would be more appealing to me, I think, on a reception line, but yeah, I want to get some action in this game because we have like 3 island games tomorrow. And I don't have anything yet.
I have nothing. Well, you got the Denver Sutton longest one. Yeah, but I've been looking at those games like crazy and I have nothing, which is like,
I
sucks.
was looking at Jamar Chase receptions. I mean,
what is that at?
It was at 5.5, but it was too juiced. So
it's minus 125 I'm seeing now.
That ain't bad. I mean, I think they get the ball out quick just because they get blitzed. So I think it goes to him if that happens. He had a down week last week, but I think the Bengals, they rolled the Colts, didn't they? Mm-hmm. So I mean, part of the run, kind of I think was helped out by the fact that they were in a, they were leading. So I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to be leading this game, but I mean, didn't they get like, when was that running back's long touchdown? Was that early?
The Chase Brown one?
Yeah, Chase Brown. It was like a dump off early. Yeah. It was like,
so I mean, like that kind of takes away, you know what I mean? Like that kind of ruins everybody else, especially if they're going to lead the whole time. So now they can sit on the ball. But I mean, I don't know if the Vikings could just put up a fight, like you could get a little baby shootout going. The weather's not going to be that bad. So we'll see.
If we're sticking at 5.5, it's bouncing around on DraftKings. Some of the listeners might be hitting it. It's like now minus 135, but only minus 128 on FanDuel, minus 135 on Caesars. Now back down to minus 125. So I don't know. It looks like there's a lot of fight going on here. Between everyone.
Like he's the obvious one that could catch 9-10 balls. You know what I mean? Like just and they're not even like real catches. Like they're Wandale catches. You know what I mean? Like Jayden Reed catches. Like they get, give me a few of those, Yeah,
I like the look for Chase. I don't think that's bad juice to lay with a guy like that. So could be an alt reception line too, even 6.5 plus money. That's viable. All right, good question.
Definitely. Yeah, great question. Shane, Timothy Holder, Carr at 216. I'm seeing it now 212, 214 elsewhere. So I don't know. Anything above like 209 is fine in my mind. Giants blitz too much. That's why the Ravens fired Wink Martindale, blitzing on goal line last week, almost cost them the game. Yeah, it's certainly aggressive. It's certainly interesting. And I don't think that Derek Carr is prepared to handle it. So we'll see. This is an interesting one. I want to get your guys' take on this. So Jamal Williams under 25.5 rushing yards on FanDuel. We played the over last week, but Taysom Hill is now announced in his last healthy game. I think he had 13 carries, something like that, 12 carries. It was insane. Jamal Williams only had like 2 in that game. Now we have both them back. My worry is that they're just going to run the piss out of the ball. And Jamal actually looked pretty good last week. So like I worry that maybe he gets like 6-7 carries this week and kind of puts him in that range because he did look good. Like previously he looked horrible. And so like, that was kind of what I worried about. So I don't know. I guess I would definitely lean under just because I'm an under guy. Noonan, any thoughts on Jamal there?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show last week when we thought there might be a chance that Taysom was active. I thought Williams was a viable like over carries, under yards guy, but the number was so low. It was really hard to do. And he cruised over that. I think he got over in like the second quarter. So that was a great play by you. He just doesn't look good, man. Looks like I don't know. He got all those touchdowns last year. I don't think he spent a lot of time in the gym. He looks like remember we just like David Johnson just fell off a cliff and there was like that one carry where everyone was just like, whoa, what just happened? I think something happened to Jamal Williams of late where he just does not look like an NFL running back really anymore. So he needs volume to get there. So if Taysom's eating that, I think under is definitely the play. I wouldn't play the over, as Slop would say.
You lost me at under.
Slop, you agree?
That's just not a market I live in at all. And then taking unders in that market, like no way.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Slop, I cashed Alex Erickson over 12.5 receiving yards last night.
Last night?
Let's go.
The touchdown?
Yep. Yeah.
When we caught that, I was thinking some moron just got paid. Yep. I'm glad I know that moron. What's nice.
It was great. Awesome. I was like, I had turned the game off, honestly, because I was so mad. So I put it on my phone and then turned on 8 Mile on my TV because it's on Netflix now. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will get him going. Maybe get the juices flowing for Erickson. And literally 5 minutes later, catches a 13-yard touchdown, bangs the over. So, you love to see it, right? You love to see it.
I can picture Connor in his living room, just tossing the hoodie up, just, feeling it a little bit. Little mom spaghetti, just trying to find himself a little bit.
That was actually like I was looking at that all day. That's why I was thinking about it when he caught that ball. It's like, what's that? What was it? 12.5 or 10.5, something like that.
Yeah, it was 12. Well, open at 10.5, and I was like writing it up. I'm like, oh, it's 12.5. It's still great. He's gonna be out there all the time. They're gonna be throwing a bunch.
Yeah.
Easton Stick, man, 5 targets last year. I'm like, oh, this is money. Literally out there like 30% of the snaps, blocking most of the snaps. Like he's basically just like a glorified tight end on the outside. I'm like, oh, this is dead. Like we have no shot. And hey, lucked into one. We deserved it after last week. I mean, my fucking God.
I had Josh Palmer 4+ receptions that I decided to do instead of 40+ receiving yards. So at halftime, when he had 0 catches, I was like, oh, this is great. And then he rips off the 79 yards. Like, oh, that was smart, John. Like, wait, like you idiot. He got the 4, but that was the weirdest way to get there because just it had to be the perfect situation where the coaches just didn't really care. Like Staley wanted his guys just to play it out, and Pierce was like, whatever, like we're just gonna keep scoring. So like, thank God we had that dynamic, or none of us would have cashed.
Oh yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, Pierce was like gas pedal down, the whole time. So
I like that.
Certainly, yeah, it was certainly a unique game. I don't know. Noonan, what do you think about like thoughts on like blowing out opposing teams? Because I don't really mind it. I mean, like, but there's been a big debate today on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that. Like, he should have put the foot off, like taking his foot off the pedal. I don't give a shit. I say just like run it up. They're already out of the playoffs. Yeah. Like, what are they going to do?
This is professional football. These are. Yes. I mean, what are we talking about? This happened the big time with the Pats back in 2007, right? When they went absolute curb stomp the league, and everyone got mad. They did it to Joe Gibbs. Gibbs brought, the Redskins to New England, and like they ran up on Joe Gibbs like 70-6 or something crazy. And it was like, it's Joe Gibbs, a Hall of Fame coach. Like, you can't do that to him. It's like, stop them. Like, stop them. You are a pro team. This is not amateur youth sports. Like, I'm not fine with it in college too. Like, whatever. Like, it's fine. I know they're kids. But this is not like 10-year-old youth sports where like keep the clock running. Like, these guys got to put good tape out there. Right? Some of these guys aren't going to be on the Raiders next year. And same thing should go for the Chargers. Like, I don't care that your season's over and your coach probably isn't on the same plane ride home. Like, you got to get a job next year. You got to manage playing time next year. You got to keep your job. So go out and like compete. So yeah, this is pro football. Stop them.
No, I particularly love the 42-0, and they get down like near the goal line and they run the wide receiver pass play. Just like so that good. Is the perfect play call when you're literally curb stopping somebody. Like, just have your receiver throwing it. It was great to see Jacoby Myers throw the ball too. It's the last time we saw him throw the ball. That not a great decision. You don't see a lot of guys chuck it 30 yards.
Same building.
To a quarterback that can't move like that. That was rough. So like it's good for him.
100%.
And the next play they ran the Brandon Bolden play, which is awesome when they brought him into the backfield and ran the fake reverse or jet motion, and that he just kept it. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just rolling out trick plays. They were just having fun.
Yeah.
And
when you're up 42-0, it's just that is so fun. It's like, man, there is.
What else are you going to practice them? Get in your bag. Yeah, get in there.
It's like what I do in Madden. Like, you're like just beating the shit out of your little cousin Madden. You're just like, screwing around, like, running reverses, throwing the ball around because you'll still win in the end. So it's yeah, absolutely.
Put your cornerbacks in at running back and just run one in with him. Like the 90s speed.
Oh man, so good. All right, let's hear Jeff Stenberg. The only way I'd ever use my money to see Derek Carr is if he was amputating his own arm on pay-per-view, so we'd never have to see him throw another pass.
Jesus,
Jeff, I don't blame you.
Man,
pretty dark, but
man is
I don't
a
blame
family,
you.
Jeff. Jeez.
Yeah, this is a family show too.
It's the holiday season, Jeff. Good Lord.
Definitely not a family show. Shane Bolin back with another great question here. Breece Hall under 43.5 last 4 games. Dolphins have given up 34, 53, 25, 39. Rushing yards to running backs with significant usage. Breece Hall's last 4 games, 40, 16, 25, 23. Yeah, Breece Hall is banged up. He looks like shit. Their offensive line is horrible. They don't move the ball well. But there are going to be 25 to 30 mile per hour winds. There's going to be pouring rain. I can't get there. If this was going to be totally clean, I would have already played the under. As you guys know, this is a great look, but I just can't do it because like he could easily see 15, 17 carries because they just can't do anything else other than short throws and running the ball because they're screwed. Is that you guys on the same page? It seems like
1,000%. That's it.
Yeah, Mal.
That's the cap.
Volume. Yep. You could get him there.
It's a good look though.
All
It's a good, yeah, on paper, like Connor said, like I totally believe Connor would have played this already. So yeah.
Yeah. 12 and a half carries if you believe that he will get a lot of work, but I don't really want to go there either. So
No.
I don't know. Maybe Dalvin Cook carries if that pops at like 3.5 or something, something like crazy low. Let's see here. Would you play Sutton over 54.5 instead of longest, Noonan? Would you prefer an alt instead?
I prefer an alt. Let's go up the ladder a little bit, get rewarded for the big plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
The longest are on a lot of books. A lot of books have the longest. So check them out.
You can find the longest hanging around somewhere.
So I
Max,
think
you're in the chat. Max is in the chat. Let us know.
I think he uses Builder, like he only uses offshores, and they don't
right.
for some reason they don't have longest for some stuff. So or they're late with a lot of things. So
sit out, Max. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. Brian, super late joining in, but what are your thoughts on Ty Chandler? Are we hammering his rushing receiving yards, 73.5? Slop, any interest here? Alexander Madison is out.
No.
He got I think 20, maybe outtouched. I think he outtouched Kene Nwangu 15-2 after Madison left. So he's going to see all the work. The matchup's good, but I always get worried with this kind of stuff because Ty Chandler could just be absolute dog shit. So I don't really want to bet a high number over on this guy.
No, remember Mike Boone?
He's got some juice.
A couple years ago, remember I think Cook was out, then Madison was out. And it's Boone, and
yeah. But he does he does look like he has juice, right?
Saying that's the kind of stuff that happens with these running backs, where you're like, oh, he has to get the work. We're all set, and then you realize oh, well, maybe he's not that good. Maybe he is a change of pace guy. I'm not saying he is or isn't. I'm just saying that I don't know if he is or not. So that's a 73.5. That's a big number for but it is rushing and receiving. So there is that. I mean, you got a Mullins, he could be a check down guy. We don't know about that. So I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
Play 100 plus money. How about that?
Here's what I do. Probably shock no one too. We've actually attacked the Bengals in this prop in particular. Longest rush. Bengals have been giving it up. Chandler's got some juice. You just need him to have the one carry that hits a little bit. You can suck for the rest of the game, and you've already get the money in your account. So it's been a team we've targeted.
What's the number? Rush.
Let's see. Is it even up? Connor, do you have it?
It's got to be up. Let's see here. Ty Chandler, longest rush, 13.5. That's kind of nice.
That's kind of nice. Yeah, that's the way to go about that.
15.5. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
At my book, that would be 15.5.
I'll book it for you at 17.5.
Book it for you at 17. That's good. Missed the life advice. What was it? We talked about how to properly fill up your Slurpee. That was very important. Where to find Marvin Mims, whether his breakout is happening, that happens in the Bible, Slop with the Bible study. So any other life advice you guys need us to talk about? We are very much open, for the most part, we'll see.
I think it's yellow snow season, isn't it? Don't eat that.
I think that's
good advice.
It's old, but still, I mean, it never gets old, really, if you think about it.
No, new generation, they don't know.
Yeah,
no one's ever told them.
They don't even go outside, so they might eat.
If it's not on TikTok, then they'll never know.
Worst thing you can do is assume that someone knows it. Yeah,
I got on TikTok. I'm telling you, I think I got it all figured out. The whole TikTok, all that.
Yeah, you blowing up on TikTok?
It's not easy. No, not at all. I think I'm way too old to be on TikTok, but I'm staying.
Just start dancing and pointing to the pics, that way you can I
might try that next. My kids would kill me. I'm like, what are you doing?
Man. Connor's got some of those, but Connor's young still, so you get a couple of those
so good.
When the text pops up,
there's nothing better than the people dancing and doing it though too. There's that one guy from Book It with Trent thing. It's whatever, Mikey Overs or whatever. That shit just cracks me up because it's this 22-year-old kid just dancing and pointing to his pics, and he just calls them locks, and I think that's just hilarious. I mean,
think
it's
those
a terrible
guys are
pick,
hilarious.
so funny.
I'm a big
funny.
I think they are just funny. It's funny. It just is.
Yeah, it's good entertainment. People get really mad about it, but I think it's because they're not masquerading as sharps, which is I think a big difference. It's the people who make me mad are people who are oh, this is a super sharp play, and then their reasons are just absolute horse shit. They're just giving you some things. I'm that's what are we looking at stats from 2011 for? This is nothing.
They don't give you any price.
Yeah,
You know
oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
names.
price.
So you're just gonna take his over 54, like at what, like
Yeah.
for how much? Like, because that's like literally most of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Or they
all
cite
right,
like
so you
some
don't gamble,
random
okay?
book
So why am I
that's like,
taking advice from anybody that doesn't gamble? Like, at least gamble. Like, show me a
yeah,
ticket.
yeah, show some tickets. As the great GRP Win says, not many cappers can show $1,000 tickets. Maybe we don't need
Yeah.
to show $1,000
Dude,
tickets, but
show me a
at
$10
least 100.
ticket. Like, if that's what you're working with, I don't care. Just show me that you like bet. Like, because for me, it's like an entertainment thing. You know what I mean? Like you want to be entertained, so you bet what you're comfortable with and go. So if we're together on this, like that's fun. But if you're not gambling at all, then like why are you telling me picks? It's weird. It's just weird. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we ran late and we talked all this time. I'll mow through the last few ones here. Zeke under 16.5 yards, definitely lean that way. 18.5 carries is outrageously high, only on FanDuel and Builder, but I like the under there, considering game script too. Rashad White over 3.5 receptions. I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
I like
right.
Rashad White, like,
but man, that's 4 catches for a running back.
Yeah, it makes sense on paper. Total yards would be an interesting way for him too, just because you kind of cover your butt no matter how he gets there. Because I think his workload is, whether we think he's good or not doesn't matter. His workload is pretty elite at this point. So yeah.
No, totally agree. Bobby Big Wheels, fashionably late, but good to see the band back together. The winner of the Slop Lookalike contest winner last week was a nice fill-in. Slop, he was labeled as the Dollar General Slop last week. That's what he got, some serious strays thrown his way.
Man, I'm sorry to whoever that was. My bad.
It was Jeff said that
they were
about
just
Derek.
messing around. They like you.
Yeah, of course. No, yeah, Derek will be fine. And then I think that's about it. Let's see here. Sam C, hit the thumbs up button before you guys leave. Only 10% thumbs up so far. Got to do better. Sam, our guy. What a nice guy, man. Oh, and then Bobby Big Wheels. Whose jersey is that behind you? Thomas? Yeah. We got Demaryius Thomas, one of my favorite players, as a kid. And then, rest in peace, Awesome guy and just fantastic player. He was electric.
The time he took that ball against the Steelers in the playoffs.
I'll remember that forever.
On the map. Never even heard of Tebow before that day.
Yeah, and then there was all those questions about like, oh, but he can't run routes, and then he just comes out with Peyton Manning and just balls the fuck out for like 6 years and just sick.
That was awesome.
So it was awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. Appreciate it. Hit the like button on the way out. So we appreciate you guys doing that. Again, like I said, appreciate the love, appreciate all the questions. Don't forget to subscribe as well, so you get alerts so you don't miss a show. Come back on Wednesdays for the game preview and come back on Fridays again for next week. We'll be running through the Super Bowl. We will be here to talk props. Slop, you want to tell people about OddsJam?
OddsJam, the greatest pricing tools in the history of pricing tools. I'm telling you, go to the site, check it out. I'm telling you, I do streams literally every day of the week. I'm about to go on right after this and show you some of these tools. Come check them out. Promo code SLOP, get free 2 weeks. Do it.
Check that out. Find him on Twitter at Slop Rules. Jump in that show and you can get access and see what he's talking about there. So good stuff from the gentleman as always. We appreciate you hanging out. Come back. We'll do it all again next week. So for Connor and Slop, I'm Ryan. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.